Welcome back. Welcome back to Raw, Restoring Awesome Warriors. I'm Jackie H, your host, and I have here my co-host, Gil Barron and Judge. How you doing, sis? You wait till you doing the podcast and you put some candy in your mouth?
It would finish after.
Oh my God. Yeah, we don't start off already. She started eating apple. Now we sat here for a whole hour. She didn't say she was hungry, nothing. But anyway, welcome back. I'm glad to be back. Um, talk with you. It's been a while. Somebody knocking on the door so we can get started. There's a lot going on right now, but anyway, we all good. But how you been?
Good building points.
Okay. Well, we missed last week. I've been not feeling well for a whole week, and I usually push through it. So that's why we wasn't here last week. I was kind of good. I was nauseous, had headaches. I felt weak. My hand had swollen up. It was just a lot going on. So I don't know if it's something still going around or if it's just one of those weeks. But I'm glad to be back up. I finally got out Monday. Well, yesterday. No, Monday. Yeah, today's Wednesday. And it felt good to get some strength back. You know, the bed take your strength. So I'm doing well. So what you been doing? You all dressed up today, so let me know what's going on.
Just well, I had my grandson that is just got out of school first week off, so I had him on the phone last Sunday.
Is he still here?
Well, he went back today. No, he went back yesterday, but he's coming back in the morning.
I'm surprised that he left us. He loved to stay with Gigi and Grandpa. I guess your hand was full, but he's not uh, a person that sit down. He likes to go. So.
Well, I never. We always talk about my our upbringing with mommy and daddy. She just did the
Laundry, and he took us everywhere.
so I'm repeating that cycle.
Okay, so you doing the laundry and take him.
I'm just
Okay.
trying to keep together.
Well, no, whatever works. You know, everybody has a different plan.
I had to laugh yesterday when I realized that the same roles, but you get to a point, whether it's age or whether it's under health, you just can't do
What you used to do. Right.
what I used to do.
Yeah. So how y'all coping with this weather? Man,
Days.
I didn't go out today. But yesterday was like, so it's supposed to be there. Well, it's summertime, but you know, sometimes it comes upon you. I think by Friday or Saturday, it's going to be up to 102.
Yeah. So tomorrow you wake up in the morning and you go to the
It's going to be, but you like the beach. You get an umbrella and all that stuff, though, right? I mean, you don't sit out there with the heat, the sun shining in your head. Okay, she laughing. I just want to say something funny.
I just when you said it.
Yeah, because you know I don't like the beach. I'm not an outside person. All that. Yeah.
So, but the thing, whether you like it or not, when you got grand.
Well, I did it with y'all children.
Yeah, you did it. But I'm saying, so you gotta suck it up and go.
Yeah. And when we came up, it was easy to sit us down with just TV or a book or show and tell. But we went outside a lot. Yeah. But these kids today, they're not inside. They it's computers. But your grandkid is not into that like that. He used to be. He likes to go.
He likes to go.
Yeah, I can't sit him down and tell him this. Let's look at a computer. But that's good. So there's a lot going on in the world today. You know, sometimes as Christians or just as people, you don't realize how much people are going through, right? And I just want to speak on that a little bit to say that we're still relevant to check on each other. Uh, I didn't know people were still losing their benefits.
And not only losing, it's something going around where somebody is stealing, especially people's SNAP benefits. I don't know how they're getting them off that card, but I've heard several people tell me that their SNAP benefits were like it used to, like I can see your debit account, hacker, but somewhere or another they're doing it with your food stamp. And people are it's really they can't do nothing about that. If you
Wow.
if they get it, if it's lost.
Well, if you go get the food, so don't you have to have a card? Or you
Somewhere now there I don't know, because you can order online.
a card? Oh, the food.
You can order food
Oh,
online.
man.
But here with all these last say month and a half, a lot of people have been experiencing their food stamps.
Yo, you gotta be so, it's just so much in this world going on. They, they, they find ways or they know how to go into the system and do what they do. And I'm speaking today because the day is July the 1st. And a lot of the senior citizens are getting their checks and different things. And it's just a lot is happening to people. And if you have a family member, and let me speak to um, you having AIDS, home health care. So I just heard a story today of a gentleman or people that the aides are misusing these people benefits. They, money is missing, things are coming up short. And I know a lot of people just don't have family, just don't have no one to check. So you left with who you have. Just check in on people and be careful. I know when I used to do home health care part time, we wasn't allowed to even use the person's bank card. Say like if I was your aide and you want to send me to the store or something, I don't know how you had to have written consent or something for even that person to even go to a Mac machine. That was against Bayada. I now work for Bayada. That was against you couldn't do that unless you had that written consent. The person might then bear it down and they gave you permission. But now it's like it's not just started. It's nothing just started. But stealing people's stuff, stealing their identity, stealing their food. It's just so much going on. Don't drop your guard. You got to keep your guard. And those of you who know you have family members or your mother, father, aunts, or whatever, you got all kinds of people in and out their house. Just check up on these elderly people because some of them don't know.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
In everything, like you were saying, before we got online, we was talking about something you said about time mom had us younger siblings, they had lightened up and we were able to do a lot more than you and Darlene did coming up, and that's how it be. Everything starts off right. Everything starts up with a standard organization, but somewhere along the line, people get tired. So then everything starts going. I mean, whatever you want to do, the standard dropped is what the original plan was. It's not that anymore, and that's everywhere where it's people, even in the house of God.
All right. And once you start losing the standard, it's hard to get it back. It's hard, what I'm saying. Like once you drop the standard, and then somebody come in and you done drop it, they think that's the original.
Yeah.
So
that's the way it's supposed to be.
And it's hard.
It's not unless you have someone that was there from the beginning and knows what it should be.
Now, who sets the black and white for different organizations? Is it? It can be a company. It can be if it's a church. You do the bylaw. Who set those?
Whoever the
So like if
whoever you want to give the blueprint, whoever makes that's who sets.
Okay. So sometimes when it's passed down, it's not even the original person who did it.
Right.
It's in
It's
place.
in place, and it just weakens as it go down. If it's somebody wasn't there to uphold it.
Okay. So if you got something that can be with your household, it could be with church, it can be with anything
It
you
needs to
have.
be taught. It needs
Yeah.
to be passed on. It needs to be, you know.
But anything without rules and regulation,
Right.
that's a mess.
Right.
We had it in the military. I was in the military. We had our manual. We called it the manual. So you had the standard. I guess from the president on down, whoever set for everybody. But then each base that we went to had what we would call an in-house standard. So you got to know all of it. You can't just there's a top standard of rules and regulation, but then for your household or for your church or for this one, you have standards, what we call it, house rules. Some people don't know either.
Yeah.
Like you make them, you don't keep them. Then you got people fighting over things that because there's no rules and regulation. You have to have something in place or you have anything going. You know?
You got to know. You got to seek information. You got to find out because then how do you operate? Everybody got an idea of the result that they want, but they don't know the process to get the result.
Mm-hmm. So who's responsible after the regulation rules, whatever is set?
Whoever's in charge, the leaders, like on the secular world, you got the CEO, and then whatever comes down. I was on a lower level, like as a property manager, but it was a regional over me. It was a senior. All of those ranks, it was always somebody over somebody, and it should be passed down when someone comes into the business or come into the church. Somebody should tell the newbies what the vision, the mission, from an application before you get hired, you're taught the requirement, what's your job description. All those things need to be told so you know your expectation. Give clear expectation.
So what happens when you have all that and nobody's following? Not even the people who gave it to you. You know, like when I moved in here, like, I'm gonna use my apartment where I live at. When I got here, I had got rules or the standard. But you have managers or you have people that's not even following that. You don't even have every. So how did that work?
So what I find out is your interest. If you want, like, I was a property manager, and I like a well-oiled machine. In order for me to do that, I had to find out how each thing worked. And so, like, I worked at a senior and handicap. So it was rules I had to follow. Like somebody can be handicapped at 28 years old. So you don't need the senior part, but you need the handicap part. But I had to know that about the building that I was property manager over, because if I didn't, I would be in trouble with the housing from the state. You have to know what you're doing. And it's no excuse not to know, because it's an answer for every question. If you want to know.
Well, if you don't want to know, that's the point I'm talking. Man,
Yeah, well, if you don't want to know,
if nobody want to follow, you just got to rest.
well,
I've seen it on both sides where you know what's right and wrong, but it might be something you don't want to do in the first beginning, so you're not gonna ask because being able to do what I want to do, that's freedom. But then you can have somebody over me that's not pushing it. So by the time another person comes and start complaining about what is right and nobody is following, so that's when the problem comes in because you have the rights, but if nobody's following it,
but you can.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying, and I've been in that
because it happens a lot with everything.
Been in that situation with people being on a job before me, and telling me what can't happen, and they allow it. But when you got the law behind you, black and white behind you, you're authorized, you got the authority to do it. I was going to use every resource that I had to make sure that I was in compliance. Because as a manager,
but you just talking about housing. They don't work for a church. They don't work for church. They work for the house.
The principal that I'm.
Who you gonna go to?
This. Who I'm going to check?
Yeah.
Well, God is over the church.
Okay.
No, that's what I'm saying. I beg to differ about a lot of things that, because it only takes one. It only takes.
She get ready to get in trouble again from my mouth, so I'm gonna be quiet.
It only takes one. Because if the vision is explained, if the expectation is told, you got an option of can you, if this is what you want to do, or if you don't. You can't come into somebody's establishment or home and rearrange their furniture. And you cannot do your own thing in something that you're not own. In your own house, in your own business, you can do what you want to do. You cannot go to another man or woman's house and do what you want to do. So that's why I say the power of one. We let things happen because we don't want to say it. We don't want to ruffle feathers. We don't want to turn the clock over. That's why you see a lot of things continue on and be done. But no, you ain't doing
that. Some places don't even have rules. So how you gonna follow? How you gonna follow? If you don't have, if you don't have a, that's what I'm. This is what I'm talking about. But that's
you can't.
That's what I was saying. If you allowed everything to go on in your house or in your place or whatever, and you're the boss, even though I'm just saying you might not believe it, but it's places like that there's nobody following, not even the person who started the business. Like I have my own business, right? I'm just using that as an example. I have my own catering business.
Mm-hmm.
I have to set rules and stuff, but I have none. That's on you. That's what you allow people to have a voice. That's what I'm saying. So you going to a lot of people that stand or churches, whatever it is. There is no rule. So how you going to tell God about something that's not even said?
That you depart from that.
I'm messing with you. She been here for a while, so I gotta get back. Cause no, I'm laughing about it.
I even try. Like been in some.
Like I have come to your house when your children was little.
Mm-hmm.
You had the rules. Like so, I had to spank them. No. Okay, we making. I'm okay. I'm stop playing. You ever been to somebody else's place or whatever it is, and they don't have no rule, and you gotta go be a part of helping or whatever that is, and there is none to follow? There's been unruly children. There's been a lot of things that I have went to help out, but because you don't even have a standard or you don't have a rule, it's hard to sit there and try to.
But it's the reason why they called you. It's the reason why they called you.
But you might not want that kind of
But if they
constructive.
call you, they know how you are, then you're welcome and you're saying, come Jackie, come with everything that you got. If you don't call me.
Okay.
You don't want me
So-
to say nothing, you want to chastise, then don't call me.
But there's some places that you're called, but they really don't want you to do
Don't call me.
anything.
No problem.
Right.
That's with anything, you know, when you're invited somewhere, whether to preach, whether to sing, when you call what we got. Don't call us and want something different. When on the tour, they told us we can't use the name Jesus. But it was up to us to accept it when we were do the tour. Well, we had other songs that we could sing. But you cannot go in making your own room. You can't do that. And if there's no room, you ask them and you call me here. This is how I warm out.
Okay. So it comes back
Because
to,
it's going to frustrate you.
yeah, but I'm just talking because there's different scenarios, and sometimes you just got me when you say you go to God, but God ain't even over it. So it's just like you just have to make
He's
do.
still over you.
I know,
Whether he's over it or not,
Yeah.
he's still my head.
but I have dealt with a lot of unruly things. So I'm serious. And I'll say I try to help or whatever that, or you walk into people call me to serve or cater their. I have a way I do things, right? So I have that talk with you though. Sometimes I don't know what I'm getting into. I accept the job, but I really don't know what it's going to be or something. So we're sharing sometimes the conversation because some people just see what you do, but they don't even know I have a standard. Like I don't do that. Um, if we have say like we have a kitchen, if I go to you ask me to cater something for you, and we have a kitchen. Well, some people are used to walking in the kitchen, grabbing food, doing what. If I'm working and you hired me, I'll tell you, I don't have that room. That's one of my rules. People who's not working with me don't come in the kitchen. So it's setting what you need because who work with me, you gotta have gloves. You don't come back to just touching stuff. But there's a lot of jobs I have been over in and didn't know how that's how they operate. So people got offended. Oh, I'm used to going back there. I know what others might do, but for me,
Set yours.
so set your standard, have some standards, set some boundaries or whatever that is. And if you can't follow black and white, maybe it's not the place, and maybe I'm not for that, or maybe it's not, or sometimes you can help people to establish some rules but anything that don't have rules and regulation, that's not too much of anything. If you just in something and everybody just doing what they want to do, that's not us. Yeah. So I was listening to some things. I've been watching a lot of police stories of people being arrested for different things. I don't know. I think we got to get an officer on here. I didn't know all those rules. And I didn't know people act like that when they get arrested. First of all, you got to know your rights, and you need to know rules. So they have when the police stop you. I'm just using this on the same thing of rules and regulate. But if you don't even know what the standard or what the rules are, if they stop you and driving is a privilege. There's rules and regulations that go when you get your driver license. I never know. So how do you follow something you don't even know? So if a police officer asks you for your license and you say, I'm not going to give it to you, that's one of the rules. I'm going to get it right. I want somebody to explain it because sometimes you're arguing about stuff because you don't even know the standard. You don't even know what the rules are. So a lot of people on this show go to jail And it wasn't even for what they stopped them for. It was for you mouthing and over and being disrespectful. We talking about police brutality, but what I'm watching, there's a lot of people brutality. Like they just do what they want to do, but that's everywhere. In your home, in business, in church, you just got people just do what they want to do. Like you just can't do what you want to do in somebody else's stuff. So that's one of the things I would like to have different organizations to come and say what your rules and regulations is. Because people just either ignoring it or you just ignorant to the law. And ignorance of the law don't keep you out of jail. You know, so it's a lot of things that I'm learning, but you have to want to know about it.
And just don't, some people think because I'm grown now, I got a voice, I got freedom of speech.
To what? Myself?
That's the attitude a lot of people have in different things, and it don't make no sense.
It makes sense to them. They just don't know. It makes sense to them.
It's your prerogative. I get that, but course we'll learn something.
Yeah. I like
that.
that.
You do your own self.
And you know what's funny, y'all, is that we're trying to help the young people, but when you have older people that have this mindset of I'm gonna do what I want to do. I'm 55 years old. Ain't nobody gonna tell. Like that's another level for me. It's one thing you got. Not that you're gonna set it for a young, but I would rather deal with a young person with that mentality because you train them and you bring them up. But when you got somebody setting their ways and that's their mentality, that's a lot. So I feel sorry for people who's over these people that got to deal with this. You got to deal with the child and the mother, or the child and the father. It's I have a new awakening. Of watching these shows. It's like, wow, that's one thing you got to deal with the kid, but you got to deal with the kid is more pleasant than the parent. So a lot of things is worth talking about. It's worth having. I think some of these classes need to be done in church. It need to be done in schools. It need to be done because I don't know if the homes are doing it anymore. So usually that's when you usually supposed to start. You train them at home. But if this is the mother demeanor, I don't know what she's gonna train the child. So somebody gotta grab something back. So
we used to have a class on
life skills.
Okay. The way you just talk about, you know.
I want to do some things. I want to do something. If anybody is watching that want to be in, we need a police officer. We need fire, the fire department, where people ignore the fire drills and you don't know where to go. I'm it's like a lot of things that, like you're talking about life skill and doing what you want to do. You know, a lot of people have got burnt up and killed because you don't even know what door you're supposed to go to, or don't use the elevator if the electric might go out with it. It's just a lot of things that I'm seeing that you think it's normalcy, and you think people know, but they don't.
They say prepare for war with peace.
Yeah.
And some people, when there's nothing going on, they don't have time to sit. They don't want to hear you explain. And I know when I was a property manager, we had fire drill. You know, to go through it.
Yeah.
So when the real thing happened,
we had all in the military.
People wouldn't cooperate and they stayed in their
house. But do you hear how many people losing their lives?
Yeah, I know also people. I know fire is bad, but water. Mm-hmm. And so I've had experience with water twice where the sprinkler went off. People may not realize, I think it's 40 gallons to one sprinkler. Now imagine you got 2 and 3 sprinklers in your house, in your apartment. So all that water is coming down from your apartment to how many of
Yeah.
floors,
Okay.
and then it'll set off the rest. That's you know.
It's I think people don't talk about it enough, but I think somebody probably will be interested in doing some training and get back to let's live. We're so overcome with everything that's going on in the world or your life that the basic stuff is not being done anymore. So we're trying to bring back, I know, on this podcast, talk about some things that is just like skills. It's just normalcy, normal things that people have gotten away from. But when I hear it on the news every other day, no, twice a day, probably more, of people losing their life over things that nobody even discuss anymore or talk about. And we dealing with something that don't even matter. We're fussing and fighting over things that don't even have no. Let's get back to the important things of life so these young people that's coming up under us will have at least have a chance.
Yeah.
You know, we had a
Yeah.
chance, whether we didn't want it or didn't, you know,
Yeah.
but it was there.
It
It was imputed, yeah. So
Yeah.
we're gonna get back to some life skills. I'm not a Bible class teacher. Nothing against it. But we had more than that coming up.
Yeah.
We had the Bible, we had etiquette class where you go and learn how to eat. Okay, it might not be what you're about, but where do you put your fork at? When somebody invites you to
Which one are you?
which one are you? Okay, might not be, might not be important to nobody, but these are the classes we came up in. Charm school.
Yeah.
That's a new name they called today, but it was how to present yourself, looking like a lady, acting like a man, whatever. We had classes on that. That's the era we come up. I'm still in that era. I think it's still important. I appreciate it. I appreciate knowing whether we used it or didn't like it, they gave us skills that will help us in case something happened, we knew what to do. But when you don't even know, so that's where we at tonight, just talking about some life skills. So I think a doctor, uh, as a CNA, as a home health care, I had to learn how to do CPR, right? There's people who don't even know how to save someone. These was classes. And I don't know if they still do it, but like the Red Cross, and so they'll come out and do classes for you. So let's get back to life. You got somebody choking in your house, and that's not a good feeling that you sit there and because you didn't know what to do or did the wrong thing. That was one of the shows that I saw. Uh, um, Somebody trying to dislodge something somebody swallowed, but they had them laying down on their stomach. It's even a way you supposed because when you're adrenaline and you get nervous, you start doing part of everything. You would kill somebody thinking you're helping them, but if you got these classes, it should kick in, and if you do it repeated enough. When I was in the military, we did drills after drill. We did drills, like you say, peacetime. When there was no war, when there was nothing going on, we had repeated drills. So even if you get in a real situation, your nerves want to take over, but it'll kick in because it'll come back. Why are you laughing?
Because why you was saying it about drills, I thought about Alan said practice.
You're talking about practice.
But people don't want to practice.
Yeah.
And you need to practice, you need to study in the thing that you're doing. You need to people want this repetition is a mother of learning.
Right.
You got to practice on whatever you want to and I learned a thing yesterday. My daughter was trying to get my grandson to play basketball. But she didn't have the patience because he was all over the place. So we had him the whole last week. So him and his papa was out there in the street. He was teaching him how to dribble. So he was dribbling and he was learning something new. And so to take it a little further, his pop went and got him a basketball hoop. And for the last few days, without you telling him, he said, I'm going outside to practice.
Mhm.
So what I'm saying, that you want somebody to do, you have to be willing to do things that will keep them engaged. By fussing at them, by paying attention. No, you need somebody down beside you in the trench practicing.
Well, we all played sports, right?
Yeah.
If anybody know a coach, a mother, I'm gonna name all of it. A coach, parents, teachers, pastors, leaders. I think the greatest quality that you can have is to know who you're dealing with. You can mess up a good person. Not only you don't have the patience, but you don't know how to teach them or how to get it done. And sometimes you're more frustrated because they might be doing something at that moment. It might be your best player that's going to be your best player. Because at that moment they ain't doing what you think they should do. You just put it there. Like you said, get in the trench. But some people are not that person. You can want a lot for somebody, but you might not be the one that need to teach them. Because if you're hollering and screaming and doing all that, then you're not the person. You just support it. Like you buy the basketball court or whatever you need. You just support. You can still support, but you won't be that one-on-one. Because I've had that learning how to play softball. Well, I wanted to play outfield because I could see the ball coming. I didn't want to play first base and said that was too fast up for me. Right? The coach knew that I was trying to dump. As long as you outfield, I could run around. I was fast. I could run. But it made me to play first base. That was too much for me. But they had me to come to practice, doing the field, rolling the ball to you. It was different things to teach you to get you even out your fear. You didn't need to be hollering at me. So they had special team coaches. That's what they have on different, like football team. You have the special team. They practice. They teach those people how to do for what's going to come on them. You know, you get ready to get rushed. Everybody can't be on that team, or everybody can't do that. But then you have to have that coach that can teach you that. So it's you could be the supporter. Mommy was our biggest support on some things. Daddy stand behind us and push us. When we were singing, sing out. He didn't know nothing else to do, but mommy was the one who said, "What's your harmony? What's your, So you got different people, but find out where you belong. And you mean well, but if that's not you mean well, and you want the best for people, but sometimes you're not the one that can teach them or help them. And find a person who can teach them, because that person that you've given up on probably is your best person. And I've had people to turn people away. I can't deal with them working there. Well, you screamed at them the whole time about this. I got people that work for me with catering that probably nobody else will hire sometimes. How you treat them? Put them where they belong so they can excel.
Yeah.
You don't put me in the front. Anybody who knows me, I told them this last catering job we did, they wanted me out there serving the food on the line. That's anybody who knows that's not where you're gonna put me in. I can walk around to the table and bring you a drink.
You had some dancing service.
But that's not where you put me at. Now, you put me in the kitchen, back behind, I can work all day. But I'll know who to put up front. I, I got the happy dancers, I got the people who is good, and we're getting called back because it might be too much for somebody, but I want that girl to come back that would do, or that man, but that's where they belong. I don't belong. I'm not going out there and act like that. that's not my personality. It's not like I like people, but put me in the back, man. So somebody can chime in. Where are you putting people? You got people even in schools. I'm using these different things that I know of. I know church is a big one. Your home is a big one. Um, Things you over. You gotta put people where they excel. In. Don't just hire somebody because they can body. That's even in when we were singing. You know, sometimes we saw people. Okay, I'm saying it like this. There's people who can play for you, your group. They might not can play for the next. Cause you play quartet. I'm using you as an example. There's some musicians that just know how to play quartet. There's some musicians, good as they is on quartet, they don't know how to do jazz. Now, I hired them for, if I hired them to play jazz and they mess up, you'll turn them down because they can't play. No, that wasn't their genre of music. Put them, put people where they belong for they can sell. You want somebody to do some licks for you, do you a quartet or whatever you a choir? I, you know how I feel about choirs, right? I'm not a choir person. I'm just not. There's different type styles of music that they play for choir that they don't play for traditional. It's not that you can't do it. You're just not in the field that you need to be in. You got people who love to read. Just because they love to read don't mean they need to be a preacher or teaching.
Yeah.
You gotta make put people where they belong so they won't fail and then feel like a failure. I have people as greeters. I don't put them on the line that serve food. You just stand there and sit people because they can do that like no other, and you'll feel comfortable. By the time they sit you down, that's what they excel at. So, why are you over there laughing?
No, no. No,
She, she laughing at me. Okay, she laughing at me.
but I wanted to say something what you was talking about earlier about standards
Mhm.
and different things. So I saw on I got it from Bishop George Noma. He had a saying, and it just tied into what you were saying earlier about having standards and having. So he said, when you stop, we talk about church meeting. When you start reverencing what is holy, you start mishandling what is sacred.
When you start reverencing,
When you
stop reverencing.
reverencing in like is a fear, honor. When you stop reverencing the things that are holy, you start mishandling what is sacred.
You understand? Okay. But you got to first reverence. It ain't about stopping. Some of them ain't started.
Yeah, but when you take away all of that, you want to mishandle something. When you start reverencing the thing, whether it's holy, whether it's a standard for your business, when you stop reverencing, honoring, respecting, then you start mishandling what is sacred, what I stand for,
Mhm.
what I, you know.
So why do you stop? Maybe that should be a question. Why do you stop respecting and reverencing? What makes a person stop doing that? We always start with why you shouldn't. I want to know, why did you even stop? What caused you to stop? You didn't believe in it anymore? What happened that you stopped reverencing what's holy or what's right or what you should what should
I feel when people realize um, I use my language or what is not correct up to me. Like it looked like the wall when you first started. It looked like it was upright. It looked like, you know. But when I got in and got to know it and found out that it's not, and then I changed.
so it was about not knowing what was holding them. You just went by what it looked like.
And that fools a lot of people.
So that's a thing.
Yeah.
You got to know the truth, because you know when they do movies and doing filming, they have a whole house you see, or a whole living room, and if you walk behind it, it's just a board, cardboard.
Right.
So if either you didn't know it was a cardboard,
Right. Just look at what
you
you saw.
just whip out what you saw.
What you saw.
So you didn't stop.
Exactly.
You didn't stop. The term sounds good when you stop referencing what's holy. I beg that you didn't know what the whole. You didn't know what was holy because you thought this was holy, but this is a wall. It ain't real anyway. Because once you know what the real deal is, how do you stop? Start not. How do you stop?
Well, you're gonna have an idea of something, or that's what you was looking for. You wanted wholeness, and it looked just like
Right.
Now I always go back to Sojourner Truth when she was talking to the farmers. She said, from a distance, the crop looked good,
Mm-hmm.
but when she got up on it, the middle was eaten out of it because a weevil had eaten.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, that's just like the Constitution. It sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
It looks just like it's going to stand for me. But the people that's handling it wasn't, it says that all men are created equal. It says that's the Constitution. It is for people. But she said, I was born 13 children. Now jumping over puddle. Am I not a woman? So you casting me out as a woman, but the Constitution stands for me. Do it make me, just because of the color of my skin, do it make me not a woman because I'm black? So that's what I'm saying. When you stop references what is right, then you will start mishandling what is sacred. The Constitution is for me.
I hear what you're saying. There's two different thoughts for me. Okay, I get it. I get it. But you have to know the Constitution, right? You have to know it. That's what you're gonna fight for. You're gonna fight for what you know. And I'm saying by holding, if you know what holding, if you know what holding, not the representation, you have to know it to disrespect it. Not what look like it. We have something written that is the Constitution, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people don't know what. I'm just going by what you said. You got to know what holiness is. You have to know what's right, because if you cause me to disrespect something that I know, that's not nobody's fault. That's your fault. You don't, if you know it, and you can't fool me with something that I know. It's either you don't know it. That's the people who get disappointed when you. Okay, all right. Can I do a Bible story that I don't know where it's at? No. You remember the people who got in trouble for using those items that was called Daniel Nebuchadnezzar?
The
But
items
his
of the
son-
temple.
Yeah, the items of the temple. Well, it was two. It was his father and him who did it, right? It was. He said your dad did that before. So did you know what that stuff represented? You stole it, but did you know? Did you really know what it? But that wasn't even your religion. So did you really know what you was doing, and you didn't hear?
Maybe you didn't know the magnitude.
Right. So what I'm saying, if for me to disrespect something, it's either I didn't know it or you train as I'm newbie, I don't know. Because once you know, I don't care what you do, you can't make me do something. If I know that. I leave it alone. I think the people who you call to mishandle and do that is people who didn't know anyway. You always tell me, you ain't going, I know what I know, I'm going to stand on it. So whether I come with you to do something to you, you stand on what you know. So who is getting fooled? The people who don't know, or is the people who know? If you know what's holy, you know what's holy.
I know what's holy.
If you don't know, and I'm gonna come and tell you something, and you're gonna do something that's different from what you know. It's like mommy tell us rules in the house. You know your mother told you don't do that or you don't do that. You gonna let somebody from outside come and tell you, so you gotta beat for what you, because you do. There's totally different if you don't know. I'm asking you, do they know that it's holy? That's all. That was the question I was asking.
Well,
Because sometimes we have statements, I don't know where people why they said what they said. Like somebody told us when we came up, they say sticks and stone might break your bone, but words would never harm you. They told us that all our lives. So somebody felt that, but that's not my truth. Because words do hurt.
it is.
So what are you, who is saying this and who are you saying it to? Because that's not for everybody. And we quoted that all our life. With that understanding, you don't you can 60 stones gonna hurt, break my bone, but what you say don't hurt. No, it does hurt. But somebody came up with that phrase. So I'm asking the phrase you just said, who is it for? Say the phrase again.
It can be for.
I hope y'all getting something out of our little talk today. You know, we come up with our
When you
conversation.
stop-
Hold on a minute. Go ahead. I want to talk when you're talking. Go ahead.
When you start reverencing what is holy, you start mishandling what is sacred, and you can take it to several, several ways, because you can know to do something
Mhm.
and don't do it. Then, like just like now, the word does say we're living in the last days, and in the last days, perilous times will come. Men will be lovers of themselves more than lovers of God. All the things that's going to happen because it's a perilous time, and that is so true. When we came along, there were some things we did. The fear of God was put in the reverence. Now it's
Well, give me an example of what you referenced. Was it fear of God or you feared your parents? Because yeah, what some things like, okay, we have a lot of church standards.
I'm not talking about your what you call it
House rules.
house rules.
Okay, so what's give me an example of what you reverence God that's not happening today that was different back then. You said that back then we reverence and we fear God. What? Give me something.
No, it wasn't reverence, whether it was on us or on our parents, it wasn't reverence.
Of what?
Like marriage.
What does that mean? Teacher can tell me. What we reverence?
The reverence comes from God.
No, I'm saying, give me an example of what you mean. Like you say, like marriage. What? What about marriage?
Marriage is a holy institution.
Okay.
When you start reverencing it, you mishandle what is sacred. It's sacred to God. That's His standard.
So when you stop referencing, what act is that? I mean, what are they doing now that we did that we referenced that?
Well, as you always say,
No, tell me what you was talking about. Because you told me something. They don't reverence marriage today. That's what you're saying? Okay, so what did we get back here that we reverence marriage? What are you saying?
I'm saying what the saying said. When you stop reverencing what is holy, marriage is holy.
And you think that we reverence that back then? That's what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's how I was trying to get to the point. So, okay. So this is Jackie 18
Because
and you have her that had two different opinions. Okay, so what we reverence?
reverence the institution.
Okay. We're gonna have part two on it. Because I'm not getting well, you know how I feel about a lot of stuff, so I'm not getting what didn't reverence back then. We get a lot of marriage.
I'm not talking about an isolated case. I'm just talking about the institution as a whole. Marriage is honorable.
Mhm.
Marriage is whole. Marriage is the first institution of God.
Right.
But because we lost reverence, it's anything. It's like my marriage, not how I got married, but for me to be brought up in church like I was, I'm talking about why I got into marriage. I'm talking about because it was a standard back then. If you wasn't in the church, certain couldn't marry you. So they got somebody off the street. So as Vicky wanted to say, what was that? But it's because of, it was because of that's what I'm saying when we stop.
It wasn't about God though. They was it's embarrassing.
What,
It wasn't about reverence. That's what I'm saying.
what I'm
There's
saying,
some things that don't apply to that. That's not an example.
but what I'm saying, marriage is of God.
Right, and you shouldn't have done it because that wasn't
Right.
honoring
So
God.
when you stop reverencing,
But you wasn't reverencing God. That somebody told you that. That's what I'm saying.
that's what I'm saying. That
Uh,
when you stop reverencing, you
Yeah.
took away the standard, you took away all that, and so you mishandled what was sacred.
right.
Because there
But,
was no. There
but you
was
said
no
back
marriage.
you said back in the day we reverence
I
God.
said, yeah, when we came along, it's marriage of God.
I know marriage was God, but what we did wasn't.
I said marriage was of God.
Right.
So when you stop,
So what are you doing different today? That's what I'm saying. Maybe they doing it the right way instead of doing what we did back then. It just did stuff that you're doing. You could have been reverencing God.
you stop reverencing God when you put it together.
Oh, so we was wrong back then. That's what you said. That's what you
You
said.
didn't reverence God.
But you didn't know that. Okay, all right.
They God.
She know I get stuff later. Like she be telling me stuff. So and then after a while, when I go to bed tonight, wake up in the morning, I was like, oh, that's what she said. So right now, it's not clicking. It's not clicking. What you're saying is cool, but it's just not clicking with me. Sometimes it takes me a bit to get what you're saying. So she's a teacher, and I just sit here and go to school. So I get it. But you say the day they don't. I thought you were saying like the day is worse than back then. That's like
Back there, you had no counsel. You had nothing. And
you have counseling today here. You want me to counsel you?
You cancel me. I'm gonna turn the counsel on you.
Oh my God. Y'all, I hope everybody's doing well. Y'all stay hydrated, stay cool. It's gonna be some hot days coming up. It's we have fun on this podcast, talking about different things, but we seriously gonna start with some life skill classes. I do want to do that. And in the meantime, while we're doing that, hopefully that I can get her to the altar and get her back to God. So because she has lost her first love. What church was that? The Church of Philadelphia? what you know.
Yeah.
I'm still in Bible study, so I just know it was seven churches? Seven churches, and I knew one on Philadelphia, but I know it's not this Philadelphia. But since we was from Philadelphia, we always thought it was.
That was
They told us that too. No, really, because we're from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, people really made us feel like talking about our church, like we had left our first love. So I was like, so it's an inside joke with us. So now I learned that it was seven churches somewhere else. Okay. And we're Asian. Okay, yeah, we was in Asia in our childhood. We was going to hell every other week. Uh, I bust hell wide open, And so it's things that we're learning and understanding the love of God and what He do. I was hellbound for a long time. That's when, and then mommy took and gave us this poem for the hellbound train. They talked about hell so much they had a poem. They had a poem on it. So, but God is good, and God wants us to be um, involved, learn. He's not the God that's going to punish you for everything. He don't punish you for stuff that you don't know. He's given us a chance. If you still have breath and you're living and you have a chance to get it right, whatever that right is for you, you have a chance. You're not on your way to hell. So I don't care what Gil said. You're not on your way to hell. I'm out of hell now. I came out of it. I didn't know. I found some water, some doused myself, and I made it. I made it out of that fire. You get another chance to live. So I want to help as many people as I can in my way. So I know that there's life and godliness.
Yeah.
He's going to give us both. Yeah. So you don't be so heavily minded that you know earthly good. Learn some things down here that you can help people, because sometimes people just need life stuff.
Say, be able to win.
Yeah, without
the word.
You be the word, but you don't always have to pull out a Bible on people. Sometimes people just want a piece of bread to eat. And you trying to give them a whole Bible study. They just, So find out what your mission is to even bring them to Christ. So sometimes the way
you can't bring them right. He said, if I be lifted up, I'll draw.
Well, that's what they say. They bring them to Christ. I'm just repeating what.
And that's where we mess up at. He added Dale. He
said love. We got to first start on that. He just said love. He said, how could you love me? Have you seen me? He's walking past people and not speaking, not helping. It's amazing. But when you learn better, you do better. So I'm doing better by spreading my love. And so if you're looking for a Bible class from me, that's not my call. That's not my mission. I read the Bible for myself and I try to apply. And then I go out and demonstrate it in the way he gave it to me. And this is one of the ways he gave it to me. Help people in the capacity that I can. So if you need to learn how to get out of a burning building, you need to know how to do CPR. This is stuff. This is like this is stuff people worry about. How to just life stuff. I can't tell you how to swim. I haven't learned how to do that yet. So, but no, we joke and I laugh a lot because laughter is medicine. It's fun for me. But I'm doing this because the way we came up, it was always just counseling on people. And I told God, I guess when I was 15, I said, if you give me a chance, I would never want nobody to come up like this. And it wasn't about being bad parents or nothing like that, but they didn't have an answer for things. And I didn't know until I got older that they didn't know. So as a teenager, you don't think, well, my mother really don't know this. You're just mad because they couldn't tell you to give you the answer of the things of life that I needed to know. They can give me the word, but simple as our menstrual periods and things of what you go through as a woman, it's like there was no answer. And my mother would send us to God for everything. She believed in her. So I think that's what helped us a lot. But today, you got to do a little better and give somebody. And if I don't know the answer, like I say, we're not experts, but I'll call somebody that can help me as we call on God. God is first. We're not saying that's not the answer. God is the answer. But he put people down here with skills. He said he made us in his image. God is a thinker, God is a creator, and he put that in us. And I could sit down and have a conversation with you, and you can make me feel better for the day. You don't think that's God? I didn't have to go down on my knees and pray and fast for 5 days to get a simple answer that you might can have or somebody. So let's do the part we can do, and do the things that we can't do. We call on God. Moses said, his father-in-law said, "You can't do this all day, bro.
Yeah.
You can't do this all day. You can't do this all day. This is too much. Spread it out." So those companies that he set up, I'm pretty sure some of them was life coaches. They might not have been Moses because they say bring the harder stuff to him. But there's somebody who could might have, huh? I've been studying, man. Give me, I stopped being mad and I started studying.
That's
Yeah. You got to stop being angry. They didn't know, and you got to forgive and forget those things that happened to you, and you have another chance, and it's another day. So
night, say back at one.
back at one. So I start reading.
Go back to one. So each level
Start back at one. I'm not where I need to be probably, but what y'all say? I left the station. I'm not where I used to be, and I'm gonna keep on walking. And if I can bring someone along,
no more classes.
Yeah,
Because everything's necessary.
I like guessing, and that's important. That's how you learn to get along with people. And that's it. Anyway, all right, y'all. We're gonna be out here. Gil, you got any final words that you want to say? It is good to see you again.
One word you said tonight: awareness.
Awareness.
And when you come into that, I mean, the stress will go off, the smile will come back, get pep in your step, get some awareness. They said, if you think education is expensive, then what do you think about ignorance?
Question mark. Period. That's it. What Tamar.com. All right, we out of here. We love you. God bless you. And hopefully you got something out of what we said. And let's keep moving. Keep moving forward. You are important. And you're different. Hold what you got. But just let's educate ourselves that what we do have, we can enhance it. Gail, as we always say when we leave the podcast, love God, love family, work hard, and be kind.